ppv.com. Te prometo que esa noche va a ser mágica tanto para Puerto Rico como para el mundo del boxeo. No más días. It's real.
Boxing fans, have you ever wondered why we don't have a specific source on YouTube that you could go to that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and give you up-to-date boxing news plus the current boxing odds? Well, my team and I behind the scenes over the last few months have been working hard to bring this product to you. It's a brand new 24/7 live stream channel called Boxing News Now. They are sponsoring this video. Go to their YouTube channel right now and become part of YouTube's first ever 24/7 boxing only live stream. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in this video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight at 140 pounds in New York between world champion Subriel Matias and the British challenger Dalton Smith. This is one of those fights when it got signed, I just kept my fingers crossed in thinking hopefully this doesn't get canceled. And with that in mind, we thought it might have gotten canceled. We know in the last few months, Subriel Matias had to overcome allegations of failed drug tests, A samples, B samples, Ostarine, tainted supplements, whatever the case may be. However the chips have fallen, we do know this, that fight is going down this weekend in Brooklyn. So in this video, what we're gonna do is break down both fighters' careers. We're gonna talk a little bit about how they go about their business. Like always, stay tuned to the end of the video. That's where I'll be going over the current Las Vegas odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. We last saw Dalton Smith showcased in the UK with the fight against Canadian Matthew Germain. This was a fight in which it was almost built as a coming out party on the international scene. The UK, the Brits, they've known who Dalton Smith is. He's an undefeated 28-year-old. They call him Thunder. He is an aggressive boxer, puncher. He's technical. This is a guy who doesn't mind fighting off of the back foot. He uses the entire ring. When you're thinking about Dalton Smith, he will be sold to you if you've never seen him before as an athletic guy who isn't afraid to punch with you, who has power, and at any given moment, he can end the fight. Against Germain, I don't want to say he was playing with his food. Maybe he underestimated him. He did drop Germain multiple times, but around the 8th or 9th round, to me at least, it looked like Dalton Smith was a bit disinterested. I felt like there were moments in that fight where he could have put his foot on the gas and ended the fight. We do know when you're fighting a guy like world champion Subriel Matias, you better be switched on the entire fight. We know about the aura that comes with Subriel Matias, the knockout to win ratio. We know about the unfortunate circumstances that happened in the Dadashev fight. Rest in peace. You can't really talk about Subriel Matias without mentioning that 11th round stoppage in which Maxim Dadashev lost his life. This is the aura when we talk about Subriel Matias that he brings into the ring. We last saw him fight against Alberto Puello, and I gotta be honest, coming from my perspective, I can't get lucky on Matias. The last two fights I have lost in terms of betting standards. When he went up against Liam Paro and put his belt on the line in Puerto Rico, I picked him to win, and we know the Aussie Liam upset the odds and he was victorious, took Matias's belt. And then in his last fight against Puello, I actually picked Alberto Puello to win, and we know Matias took Puello's belt, and now we have this fight with Matias as the champion. In that last Alberto Puello fight, I actually gave Puello rounds 11 and 12, and I thought he scraped by, but I'm not a judge, and here we are. Matias is a pressure forward, always on his front foot. If you ask me in one word, how would I describe Subriel Matias' style? I would say stressful. If you don't have cardio, if you don't have endurance, if you don't have enough power to keep him off you, and more importantly, if you can't use the entire ring, similar to Alberto Puello, and be a smooth, slick boxer. Puello is a southpaw, slick, long boxer. You're going to be in trouble, and you're going to have a long night. It's going to be interesting to see how these two styles clash. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at Dalton Smith, the undefeated Brit, and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Dalton Smith is 18-0 with 13 knockouts. Out of 2,715 fighters in the world at 140 pounds, he's ranked number 7. He's fought a career total of 111 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 72% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as Thunder, and the 28-year-old Brit is a 5'9" orthodox fighter. He was born and raised in Sheffield, Yorkshire, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Matthew Germain, 26-2, won a UD in the 12th. Weeza, 19-2, stopped him in the 1st. Jose Zepeda, 37-4, stopped him in the 5th. Maxwell, 17-1, stopped him in the 7th. Allington, 10-1, won a UD in the 12th. If you ask me, Dalton Smith is a really good athlete. He's good at a lot of things, but the questions for me personally, is he great at a lot of things? And to be a world champion, to be Subriel Matias, he is going to have to fight the fight of his career. I didn't really like what I saw against Matthew Germain. When you look at his resume, there really isn't a lot of names that jump off, and that's no fault to his own. He could only fight who they put out in front of him. What's his best win? An older, aging Jose Zepeda got him out of there in the 5th. I felt like they set that Germain fight up as a showcase, and even though he knocked him down a few times, I felt with how they're marketing Dalton to the rest of the world that Dalton should have stopped him, and he didn't. I was left a little bit unsatisfied with Dalton Smith. Is he as explosive as they said? Is he as powerful as they said? Is he as good of a boxer as they said? Well, all in all, he won that fight, and he has a chance to prove me wrong and prove all the doubters wrong and prove his supporters right into thinking that the Brits think they have one with Dalton Smith. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the 140-pound champion, Subriel Matias, and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Matias is 23-2. Of his 23 wins, 22 of them come by knockout. Of his 2 losses, he's never been stopped. Out of 2,715 fighters in the world at 140, he's ranked number 2. He's fought a career total of 130 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 96% career knockout to win ratio. He is the WBC World Super Lightweight Champion. His adoring fans know him as Orgullo de Maternillo. The 33-year-old Puerto Rican is a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 71-inch reach. We last saw him fight Alberto Puello, 24-0, won a majority decision in the 12th. Goyaz, 30-3, stopped him in the 8th. Ramirez, 26-3, stopped him in the 2nd. Paro, 24-0, lost a decision in the 12th. Ergashev, 23-0, stopped him in the 6th. When you look at Subriel Matias' box rec, knockout, 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 this is how he goes about his business. His last victory against Alberto Puello was his first victory by decision. He went the distance. Your questions on Matias are, he does get hit a lot. Now, going into the Puello fight, the commentators were saying maybe conditioning is an issue. Will he fade against Alberto Puello with Puello's style, him using the entire ring? We did see him fade a little bit, but his output didn't. He's a nightmare to deal with. He doesn't have one-punch knockout power, so when you see on paper a 96% career knockout to win ratio and you've never seen him fight, this is a thudding accumulative power. This is a guy who's going to be in your face the entire fight, put you up against the ropes, force you to punch with him, and the minute he sees you fading, he is going to turn it on. I said earlier, stressful. It's exactly what he reminds me of in terms of if I were in a fight camp having to deal with him. We talked about the aura, we talked about the knockout to win ratio, the style, the pace. Something I should also mention when you're thinking about where you're putting your money, because we're going to get to the odds in a second, is the fact that it's Matias's promotional company that is promoting this fight. This fight is in New York, in Brooklyn. Dalton Smith has to travel from the UK. Dalton Smith is the B-side. This is by far Dalton Smith's biggest step up in opposition. So all in all, keep that in mind whenever you take your wallet and you put it on the table. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at those current Las Vegas odds. But guys, before you do that, remember, in these edited Stats Don't Lie videos, you're only going to get my money line prediction. Tune into my world famous daily live streams. Join our Discord, join the Patreon to get all of my bets. We go over method of victory, props, over and unders. We do parlays, all things betting. Click the link that's pinned in the comments section below to find out more. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, let's pull our betting apps. Currently, Subriel Matias is the favorite at $1.64 on the money line. You put 100 on him just to win, you get your money back plus 64 bucks. Dalton Smith is a $2.40 dog. 100 on him to win, you get your money back plus $140. So Dalton Smith is not quite a 1.5 underdog. I think the odds are fair. I got to be honest with you, I thought they would be a bit wider, all things considered, with who Subriel Matias has mixed it up with and who Dalton Smith hasn't mixed it up with. But resumes, they speak for themselves. All that will be pushed aside come fight night. Dalton Smith's going to be a little bit taller. I can't wait to see the weigh-ins. It's one of the things that it's my last sort of chance to decide if I am torn on who I'm going to put my money on. I want to see what they both look like on the weight cut. I want to see, is Dalton actually taller? And I want to see the physicality when they're face-to-face, side-by-side. And then some of the other nonverbal communication stuff, body language, eye contact, stuff like that. But right now, on the money line, I'm going to go with the champion. It's really tough for me to see Dalton Smith being able to climb that mountain of the intangible things, the variables that don't occur that he could control, like being the B-side, the judges, the promotional company, all that. And then when I mix in Subriel Matias' style, what he showed me over his career, I feel like the version I saw against Pero and then the version against Puello, I felt like he added levels to his game. I think that Subriel's feet are better than people think. I think his speed is better than what people think. And it's going to also come down to that power. I think if Dalton Smith gets a little bit too comfortable in standing in front of Matias and takes a little bit too many shots early in the shoulders and the arms, and this is where Matias does his best work, by the mid to late rounds, you start fading, you start feeling heavy, you start slowing down, your feet get a little bit more stagnant, and then Matias turns it on, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So this is not an echo chamber. At the end of the day, in the comment section below, are we going to hear and still for Subriel Matias or and new for Dalton Smith? Guys, stay tuned. We have a busy fight week. We're going to be covering fights on this undercard as well as the main event in Germany between Canelo and Jakepaul. So stay tuned.